Top 10 Shakespeare Plays of All Time. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 Shakespeare Plays of All Time. 10. Julius Caesar, the Bard's most political drama by far. What catches everyone off guard about this play is how little the titular character actually does. Caesar has just come home from a huge victory, but there is a discomforting disconnect between the plebeians, the senators, and Caesar's inner circle. No one really seems to be on the same page about anything, and Brutus trying to figure out where he stands, and all of this becomes the center of the play. A masterclass in wordplay, manipulation, and argumentation. This play has standing power in every adaptation. 9. Romeo and Juliet. A young couple falls madly and unequivocally. Never mind that, Romeo was lovesick for someone else when the play opens. In love. The children of feuding families, we know from the prologue that these two star-crossed lovers are not destined to end well. Like most failed relationships though, it's all about timing for these two. And when the letter Julia sends to Romeo about her otherwise genius, albeit morbid plan doesn't get to him in time, Romeo walks back into Verona not knowing all the facts. The rest is history. Boy sees girl, dies. Girl sees boy, dies. And the families finally decide to put their differences behind them. It's easy to see why romantics make this out to be more of a love story than a cautionary tale. 8. King Lear. Speaking of parent-child relationships, this warning is for the parents. King Lear is ready to give up the responsibilities of being king and live in luxury. He redistributes his power in a questionable game of flattery and ends up banishing his once favorite daughter, Cordelia, to France. When Lear's expectations of gallivanting around don't line up with those of his remaining daughters, he finds himself with nothing. And all of those fighting for power and position, we find brothers warring over their inheritance, the remaining sisters warring over a man, and an actual war with France where Cordelia makes a not quite so triumphant return. Both Cordelia and Lear are arrested, eventually die, and the better of those warring brothers becomes king. Harsh! 7. Twelfth Night. A mainstay in the Shakespearean comedies, Twelfth Night has one of the most complicated cast of characters and names of Shakespeare's plays. After a shipwreck, a female twin of a fraternal set that is apparently very similar to her brother finds herself with nothing in a city where her father once did business. What's a girl to do? Dress up like a boy and get in good with the local duke, of course. All's going well until the love triangle, square, hexagon, sets in and complicates everything. Only one person is cross-dressing, but no one really says what they mean. In the end, every couple finds their match, except for Malvolio, but he might have had it coming. 6. Othello. The subtitle of this play, The Moor of Venice, should clear up how much of Othello's religious and ethnic background is at the center of this play. Moor would have been a general term to refer to North African Muslims or Arabs in Shakespeare's time. However, jealousy is at the center of the conflict, societal, professional, and romantic. The master manipulator, ego, pulls everyone's strings and turns friends and lovers against each other. The damage is done, but ego's plot unravels in the end, even if his resolution isn't as satisfying. 5. The Merchant of Venice. The eor that surrounds this play is denser than the play itself, but the implications that riddle this play call for it. With one of the strongest female characters in Shakespeare's folio, this play is actually a societal and legal battle. After a loan goes wrong, the protagonists find themselves fighting for their lives in a legal battle over the debt. There's a fun play on logic and semantics in the resolution of this one, but the judgments it passes on everyone involved are damning. Just who it damns the worse is up for interpretation, and productions of this play make the most of it. 4. The Tempest. Power and magic are common themes of Shakespeare, but rarely do they come together as strongly as in this play. Often identifies Shakespeare's last solo work. The Tempest is often read as Shakespeare's final bow in the theater. A powerful and magical duke cast out of society and living with his daughter, and spirits and monsters on a deserted island, summons a storm that strands some of his enemies on his shore. Not everything goes quite to his plan, but in the end, everyone finds their happily ever after as the Duke prepares to leave behind the island and his magic. 3. Macbeth. The destructive force of ambition is on full display in Macbeth. Knowledge might be power, but in this play, the prophecies of 3 witches drive Macbeth and his wife to madness and death. The first is the knowledge that Macbeth will be king, which makes the couple drink with ambition. The second is a riddle that gives them a false sense of security. This game between what we know and what we think we know turns individuals, families, and entire political systems over. 2. A Midsummer Night's Dream. One of the most playful in Shakespeare's folio, this one gets dark pretty quickly. 2 lovers find themselves pleading with the king to allow them to marry. The problem is her father wants her to marry someone else. Dad's choice is absolutely smitten and wants to marry her. Further problem still, her best friend wants to marry Dad's suitor. After what should have probably been a terrifying night in the forest being toyed with by a fairies, the 4 pair off and get married. The spirits of the forest have the most fun in this play where the blinding power of love takes center stage. 1. Hamlet. Revenge seems to go cold for the Prince of Denmark before it erupts in the end. Angsty Hamlet, who is actually much older than we all think, is dealing with the fact that his uncle murdered his father, took his crown, and married his mother. Worse still, this information comes from his father's ghost, which makes him feel even more paranoid about finding out the truth. Hamlet spends 5 acts attempting to sort out what everyone is hiding, pretending to be a little crazy here, putting on a play to show the king his crimes there, pushing away his girlfriend to keep her meddling father out just for good measure. He seemingly loses all sense of reality in fiction before the truth comes crashing down in a murderous rage that leaves most everyone dead at the close of the play. If you liked our video, be sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos of all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other celebrity or any topic that you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video in the future in the comments below. Thank you. Have an amazing day and take care. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more.